Let's go to the narrated chapter of One Piece, 1145. Ready? Then let's go after the intro. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. And before we get into the content of this video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. That way, you won't miss anything. And without further delay, let's get straight to the content of this video. Opening text, another battle takes place in the Underworld. The first page shows a battle in a double-page spread. A creature appears in the Underworld, and we see Goldberg fighting against it. He is using his talking shield. Goldberg says, "That thing is coming, Nash." The shield says, "What? Hold it, now." Then we see a combined attack from Sanji and Zoro called Armée de l'Air Power Shot. The attack consists of Sanji using his leg to launch Zoro, who then cuts off the creature's head. Page 3. While the creature is lying on the ground, headless, Zoro says, "I think we can serve this for dinner." Sanji replies, "This is big, even for a giant." Goldberg then says, "Grokkisauruses are delicious. It takes some work to deal with them because they have a lot of subcutaneous fat, but if you cook them with sake, they taste amazing." Sanji responds, "But we don't even have sake here." Goldberg replies, "Well, there's a full set of kitchen tools in the hunter's cabin. So let's look for some aromatic herbs on the way there." Zoro asks, "And this thing? How does it work? Is it a devil fruit?" Zoro is referring to the talking shield. "That was back when my old man went to face Big Mom. This thing has a soul inside, you know?" Sanji, surprised, says, "Big Mom?" Zoro says, "Oh, so it's kind of like Zeus?" Goldberg says, "What? You guys know Zeus-san? Are you talking about Zeus, the supreme commander of the homies?" Zoro replies, "He is now our navigator's servant." That information leaves Goldberg shocked. What? Page 4. Now we move on to Loki. Luffy says, "What, holy knights?" Loki says, "Yes, they appeared here." Hadrudin then asks, "People from the world government? They were here with you?" "Yes, exactly." Hadrudin asks, "You didn't get into trouble with them while you were away, did you?" Loki says, "Of course not. If I had crossed paths with people like them back then, I would have become the king of this world." Luffy seems really interested. Holy Knights? Page 6. Then we see Goldberg carrying the dead animal while saying, "We got one." Sanji comments, "Man, this thing is huge. It's a Grokkisaurus. They're super nutritious." Zoro, bragging, says, "Yeah, I was the one who took it down." Sanji, mocking, replies, "Oh yeah, that was amazing. For a second, I thought I saw broccoli dancing in the air." Then Goldberg asks, "Did you cut some firewood for me?" Stenson replies, "Oh, here it is. And thanks for the Grokkisaurus." Luffy jumps into the conversation, excited. "Oh yeah, it's ready. This is so good. Hey, that piece isn't yours. Oh, right." Then Luffy hands the meat straight into Loki's mouth, who yells, "You bastard, it's hot." Page 7. Loki, still angry, asks, "Are you trying to kill me, Luffy?" Luffy, all proud, replies, "Well, you look much better now, don't you? Anyway, just eat it already. You won't recover if you don't eat." Loki then complains, "It's hard to swallow like this. You think I can eat lying down? Help me sit up." Cough, cough. Seriously, so demanding. "Whoa, are you choking? I've got some soup here too. Just hold on a second." Luffy then comes back with the soup, and Loki is in shock. "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! That stuff is still steaming. Keep that thing away from me." Page 8. Well, it didn't really help. We see smoke coming out of Loki's mouth. Yes, Luffy actually poured boiling soup into the giant's mouth. Gerd says, "Look, he got another burn, huh?" Loki, irritated, says, "Get him out of here." Far away. Gerd, on the other hand, liked what Luffy did and waves at him in appreciation. "Hey, Luffy-kun. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that." Sanji, shocked, reacts, "What? You too, Gerd-chan? What the hell did this guy do to make giants hate him so much?" So that whole story about the promise with Luffy was a lie. Loki then responds about where the red-haired is. Unfortunately, that part is true. Sanji says, "Oh, really? Then let's hear it." Loki replies, "But you still haven't kept your promise to remove my chains." Page 9. Loki then says, "You really want to reunite with that red-haired pirate, but I understand the feeling." Admiring a pirate as a child, Luffy, while eating meat, says, "You say that like you had someone like that too." Loki says, "I did. Too bad you were just a brat back then." Right. As he says that, we see a quick flashback. A young Loki, he is speaking with a man, rocks Xebec. Take me with you? Xebec replies, I didn't come all this way to take someone like you. Don't make me repeat myself. This keeps the natural flow and energy of the original. Double page 10 and 11. Loki, irritated, then says, well then, shall we fight? Then, in the next scene, we see Loki on the ground while Whitebeard says, you used a sword against a child? Seriously? Xebec replies, shut up, Newgate. Back to the present, Loki, lamenting, says, I was born in the wrong era. Then the scene shifts to the land of the sun, where we see Dory and Broggy. Dory roars, these drow look like a damn army of the dead. Wipe them all out at once. Broggy, laughing loudly, says, Gaba-ba-ba, full of ghosts too. Feels like one of those children's horror stories. And that guy over there, is that Loki? Then we see Gaban charging toward one of the monsters, slicing it in half with his axe in a devastating blow. Page 12. Gaban says, these things were born from the imagination of children. If they had seen real monsters, they would have been much stronger. Good thing they didn't. Then Gaban says he hears 3 voices, and that if even Elbaf isn't safe, then this is truly the end of days. Then we see the firefighters team. Use seawater. Another firefighter says, will that even work? There's too much fire here. Saul then thanks the firefighting team but tells them to hurry. The children are heading straight into the fire. The firefighters say they're using the maximum pressure, but the children aren't stopping and are getting closer to the flames. Saul says, you can do this, hurry. Then Summers, look, Gunko, do you think the children will burn to death? But if they catch fire, will they wake up? Page 14, Gunko then says, well, I think they will. Crying in the middle of the flames, screaming for their parents. And in the end, there won't even be bones left in the ashes. The children were almost in the fire when suddenly Dory and Broggy say, what's happening with the firefighters? The firefighters shout, what's happening to the water pressure? Saul, desperate, yells, children, stop, stop! Amid Summer's laughter, Jinbe uses the sea cloud, and we see a massive jet of seawater rushing in, extinguishing the fire. Page 15. Jinbe then says, phew, the fire is out. Did we make it in time? Saul replies, yes, we're here. Nami, Usopp, and Brook praise Jinbe. We see the firefighters' faces in shock, Saul relieved, and Robin hugging Chopper, also relieved. And it is announced, the fire in Forest District's third wheel, number 8, has been successfully extinguished. The children are safe. They escaped the flames, but they still haven't stopped walking. Dory and Broggy praise the firefighters' efforts, but they seem shy about it. Robin and Chopper say they're lucky Jinbe was nearby. Page 17. On the final page, we see Colin, who says, good job, Jinbe. That was so cool. Thank you so much. Jinbe replies, well, it was nothing. Colin says, I know the kids at school hate me, but I consider them my friends. Nami, touched, says, that's really sweet, Colin. Let's save them all, okay? But then Gunko suddenly appears right behind Colin. She says there was a child outside the school, and a rather unruly one. Colin, in shock, says, what? Who are you? The chapter ends with the words, a shadow at last. End of the chapter and break next week. And that was this week's narrated One Piece chapter. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications.